Other yellow hat guy here, back with another video. Let's talk some gaming news. There's a couple interesting things going on. There's a Nintendo Switch out in the wild now. That's the new one. I wasn't aware that it was out that quick. I knew some people had it online on YouTube. I saw some videos of some people with it. I didn't hear a whole lot of traction because it was like, well, did they get this from specialty stores? Did they go get it from China, overseas, where I know it's already out there in the wild? But evidently, as of when this video goes up, mid-August, it's out. Now, it's got this fancy schmancy red box that it comes in, and that lets you know this is the new Nintendo Switch versus the old one that had the other box. So it's got the extra 2 hours of battery life. It's the same price as the other Switch, but there's still probably a lot more they're not telling you. So that doesn't mean it's not worth getting. I still think it is, especially if you've never had a Switch. For the rest of us, it's like, I don't know if that's worth trading in my already existing Switch. I don't think so initially. There had to be something more than that. Like the battery life would have been great for me, but I needed something else too, like a larger hard drive, a larger internal storage space would have been what I needed. If they would have included a game or included maybe an SD card, that would have been what I needed to go ahead and make that move. So that being said, if you've got one, let me know what you think, or if you're planning on getting one, give me some feedback there. I know that's going to be a hot buy. It was important for Nintendo to get that out there soon, because what's also following up with that is the Switch Lite, and they want all this stuff ready in time for Pokemon when that drops. Super Mario World is celebrating, I believe, 18 years? Yes. August 13th, 1991, Super Mario World dropped. And was it 13th? Was it 14th? I think it was 13th. Anyway, in North America, Super Mario World debuted. I never had the game as a kid. I didn't get one till way, way later, maybe after I was a teenager. But I was able to play it at friends' houses. I tell this story all the time, and I'll probably tell it again really soon in a few days. But I was a Genesis kid. I had the original Nintendo, but I had Genesis, and a friend of mine had Super Nintendo, and it was just like, wow, they've got Street Fighter, we don't have Street Fighter. And when we did get Street Fighter on Genesis, we had the 3-button controller and had to do little cheats to have the full, access to all the combos. What I mean by that is you had to hold start and press A, B, and C to do a different set of moves, whereas Super Nintendo had 6 buttons. Not only that, but had better graphics, more colors. So while I had Sonic and Knuckles and what I thought was a better version of Earthworm Jim and the Blood and Mortal Kombat, Super Nintendo had all of these games. I mean, Mario RPG, I could go on, but Mario World to this day is still playable. It's still current, because you look at the new Super Mario Bros. And all of those games, you can still see the influence of Super Mario World right then and there. So not only does that make me feel old, but it makes me feel nostalgic, and I'm probably going to jump into some more Mario, if not a hack. I recently finished Paper Mario Color Splash. Man, the game is a lot better than I gave it credit for. Intelligent Systems, they did a better job with that than they did Sticker Star. But let's move back into the actual news. So we talked about the Switch a little bit, and we're going to keep talking about it. There was an FCC leak that somebody pointed out online that showcased Nintendo with SNES, with some SNES. So what does that mean? Does that mean that coming soon on the Nintendo Switch Online, we're going to finally get some SNES games? Some of these YouTube guys, myself included, think so. It would be nice. What games would they give? On one hand, it's like, you're giving us these NES games, and is that to cannibalize or to double dip on the NES classics that are out here in the wild, and now the SNES classics? Are they going to continue to do that before they give us N64 games? it would just be nice if they just increase that library altogether. They need to give you something to keep that membership going, because just playing online, I think, is still fair for the 20 a year that they're offering, but the offering outside of that, the 2 free games a month, it's not on the level of a PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass, because they're not giving you current gen games, right? It would be nice if they gave you, a discount on current Switch games by having the online membership. That would be a nice game changer right there. So Nintendo, if you're watching, jump in that. Bowser, Mr. Bowser, if you're looking. I know Reggie can't help us anymore, but Mr. Bowser, please take action. This video is in support of Matt's Game Exchange, where you can get 20% off video games and accessories. Matt's Game Exchange is home of many retro and or new video game consoles along with games. Matt's Game Exchange is located on 2924 Westgate City Boulevard, Greensboro, North Carolina, zip code 27403. Check them out. Tell them that you stopped by and saw this ad when you can. This is a place where you can buy, sell, trade, and repair all of your video game console needs. Thank you. Let's move on from that. We talked more Microsoft. So in the last video I mentioned, hey, they're looking into more single-player games to keep the crowd going. What really are they going to offer between now and Scarlet that is going to get you to jump over? Well, they've got Psychonauts. They've bought that developer, so it looks like that game could either be coming out at the tail end life of the Xbox One and or when the Scarlet drops. So that is somewhat interesting. I'm looking forward to that game coming out. It's going to help investors like, GameStop, not investors, but help companies. It's going to help investors too, but it's going to help companies like GameStop with these pre-orders stay afloat, where they're like, hey, are you guys going to be discless now, or are you going to continue to have these games that we can get used, pre-owned, and sell? So we'll see what happens there, because it's also stated that the PS5, if that's what they're likely going to call it, PS5, that it's also going to have discs. So while it's going to be 18 times faster than the PS4, at least according to a video they showed showing Spider-Man played on the PS4, and then how it's looking on PS5. 18 times faster, and it's going to have a solid-state drive. So I'm interested in that. I hate to just jump from Xbox to Microsoft that quickly, but don't expect a whole lot going forward, because they're really focused on that next generation system. They don't want to say it. There's still games that have already been developed a year or so ago, but that's what it is right now. So what do you guys find exciting of any of the news that I shared this week? Was there something I missed? I'm sure there was. I may make an addendum to this video if there is something that I remember, but stay tuned and we will continue from there. Captain Sensation!